Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Supergirl Season 2, Episode 2. It's called The Last Children of Krypton. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. You know, I wasn't really sure what to expect when it came to Superman leaving.
Right.
You know, like I wasn't sure where they're going to go with it. Like, I wasn't sure if they were going to have some sort of big thing that happened that forced them to leave, or
Or if it just go.
if he just went, yeah. Which is
Yeah.
basically what happened. He just,
Well, that's what I assumed would happen. He's got to go back to Metropolis at some point.
yeah, no, that makes sense. But I really liked the episode. I thought the action was very fun again. I thought the opening sort of, not quite a montage, but a couple of scenes, pair of scenes of them like saving the day. Particularly when they're stopping the robbers, and like one of them, like she lands in front of the car and it hits her. He lands in the back of the car and the back hits him.
And then it's when they shoot him and they just both just stand there and just take the bullets. And then he tries to punch him. And he goes, I never understood that. The bullets didn't work. Why would the punch?
The funny thing is even before that was funny, but even before that, I was thinking, why are you even shooting them? It's not like they're new. Like,
It's like, everyone knows Superman. What are you doing?
yeah, like they're both famous now, especially him. Like him especially.
Yeah, he has been for years.
Like, why are you even trying? Like, are you just hoping it's an imposter? It's a cosplayer who's just out for a stroll.
Who just managed to crush your car?
Who just managed to
I
crush
like
a
I
car.
like that it was like, oh, sorry, might have put a scratch on your bumper there.
So good. Another small thing that I was enjoying again was Win constantly fangirling over things again. It is proving one of the highlights of this show for me is
It's great.
Win geeking out over Superman, or geeking out because he gets to make the new Superman suit or whatever, all that
Win
stuff.
is all of us.
He is. Speaking of, Jimmy almost wasn't in this episode.
Do you know what? I noticed about 5 minutes from the end. I was like, "Oh, we got an episode with no Jimmy here."
And he just walked in.
And then they had to go and put him in it, didn't they?
Oh, he just walked in. I mean, he was fine in his scene. It's kind of funny, like if we didn't already know he was going to be a vigilante from the promo material and just them telling us that he's going to be a vigilante. I'd be like, oh, he's going to have this role this season. He's going to be the boss. That can give him something to do. That said, the episode was going fine without him.
Yeah, I feel like right. So there was a big thing about how there's so much change and how things are changing very quickly. And it felt like a metaphor for it coming to the CW, and things have changed. We've got a bigger focus on the DEO, clearly. They've got that new base that's closer. It's clearly taking a higher priority over the day job stuff. And I was beginning to wonder that, clearly that's why they're doing the stuff with Jimmy, because he's kind of becoming redundant otherwise. Because he is so tied to that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unlike Win, who can transition quite easily.
yeah, and obviously Kat leaving at the end of this episode. At least, I mean, she says she'll be back, and I believe her. I'm sure she will pop in for guest appearances here or there, but this was her farewell as a sort of permanent
Regular.
staple.
And it was
sad.
sad. Sad to
was
see her
sad.
go.
It was actually kind of touching when she told Kara. I thought that was a nice scene. They had the piano come in, and then the scene with Supergirl I thought was equally quite touching. And I liked her little trick, like, oh, did I ever tell you my name is Catherine? I'm not telling you my real name. So, no, I thought that stuff was a little... I think it's one of these things where if you didn't care about these characters, it would probably just play off as cheesy. But I think if you're like us and you do care about the characters, it was played with the right amount of sentimentality that...
Which does unfortunately mean it may come off a bit off for anyone who's just jumped on with season 2 with the move.
Yes. That is a possibility. Luckily, though, I think it's all on Netflix, and CW were re-airing it all summer. And
Yeah, I just hope that didn't put anyone off.
yeah. Well, I'd like to think that all the other stuff probably... I mean, actually, do you know one of the things that excited me the most in this episode? We got to see Calyx again in the Fortress of
I know.
Solitude.
I mean, I went into the fortress like, oh, damn it, I love this fortress. It's so nice. And then Calyx showed up. I was like, yes, I
And we
miss
got-
this little guy.
We got the statue, or I say statue, it's more of a nice sculpture of the Clark's parents, or I say
Absolutely
Clark,
gorgeous.
Cal's parents, I should say, because it's Jor-El and Lara, but holding up the planet,
Yeah.
Which if you're a fan of the comics, you'll know that that's a staple. That's kind of like how in the Batcave, there's always a dinosaur, there's always a giant playing card and a coin, in Superman's fortress, there's always them holding up Krypton.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really nice touch for people who are familiar with this stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. I mean, if I have complaints, obviously we're not talked about the main villain plot yet, and I'm getting to that. Don't worry, I'm not skipping over it. But if I do have any complaints, it is maybe that the villains, not so much Metallo, like, because I mean, yeah, he's kind of throwaway, but because he's just there to have the fight with them, I'm kind of okay with that. If I have a complaint, it's more that the leader of Cadmus, I don't think we know her name yet.
I don't remember hearing it.
Nah, I don't think they brought it up yet. But she, don't get me wrong, I think she's better than Non was at this point last season.
Yeah, but she's still very. What's her agenda? You know, what's her motivation? I mean, we might get there.
We might. To be honest, if we don't, it doesn't bother me that much because I ended up loving season 1 despite the fact that the villain was kind of meh to terrible.
It's kind of a thing, like, to compare it to the Marvel movies. A lot of them have very weak, generic villains, but it kind of doesn't matter because they focus on the heroes.
Yeah. To be fair, Legends had this problem as well. Vandal Savage was terrible in season 1 of that. I feel like The Flash is the one show where the villains have been particularly great because he has the rogue gallery, he has, well, the rogues, but he also has Reverse Flash, he has Zoom, he has all these characters that they can use. Whereas with Supergirl, it's like, well, we can have some versions of Superman's characters, we can do this and we can do that.
But she never really has established her own people that are significant.
So my hope, maybe not this season, because I feel like, okay, we're sort of locking into this Cadmus thing. Although I do have a sneaking feeling that her stepdad, Alex's dad,
will some cyborg Superman.
Yeah, which won't be exactly like the comics because he's not Zor-El, but it'll be like a weird twist on it because it's her stepfather who's cyborg Superman.
Yeah, and it is Dean Cain.
And it is Dean Cain, which would actually make it kind of amazing. It's just like what's his face being Jay Garrick on The Flash. Like, it's just kind of like amazing because he was the Flash in the old show.
It is perfect.
Yeah, so I'm A-okay with that plan if that's where they're going with it. And it
I mean, because obviously they made Metallo cyborgs in this, and they explicitly use the word cyborgs, and it's like okay, and that's where we're going.
Yeah, and I thought the fights with the Metallos were hit and miss. There were some moments that felt a bit, we're keeping this basic because it's TV and we can't do it too fancy. But then there was other moments where I thought, oh, this is really fun. They're doing some really cool stuff here. When the heat vision melts his hand and you just see like the almost Terminator hand.
It is very Terminator-esque.
Yeah. That's what.
I love that moment then when Clark just comes in and just sends him flying.
Oh yeah, that made me laugh. That was like an almost slapstick moment when he just like punches him off the bridge.
Do you know what it reminded me of really weirdly? You probably never watched it, but Pokemon, the series, they would always do this thing with Team Rocket where they would like send them flying into the sky. That was like their thing.
You're right,
and it was very much like that.
Yeah, you're right. I've definitely not watched that.
No, I know.
But yeah, so there was fun stuff there, and then again at the end when we had the two team ups, we had Superman and Jean.
I really liked their stuff all this episode, actually.
Yeah, Jean using his what would you call it? Going through things.
There's
a word for it. I know
there is a word for it. Phasing.
Phasing, thank you. When Jean phased through the back of Metallo number 2, we'll call him, and ripped out the kryptonite. Cool moment. Then Clark gives him a zinger.
I've had too many donuts and my brain's just not. That's actually my biggest problem with this episode. There's 2 in a row now and we've had no donuts.
Oh, right, with the show itself. I thought you were talking about in real life. I'm like, no, you had donuts tonight.
I've had donuts both times. But no. There's 2 in a row, donuts in the show. I mean, we got a mention of Chinese, but
we did get Chinese food. We'll go back to the baked goods. Connor, I have no doubt that the baked goods. We did get pizza last week. I feel like they're upgrading to takeaway food. Like we're on takeout food this season.
I know, but if this is if this is another CW mandated change, this is one I am not okay with.
I don't think it is. I think the donuts will be alive and well.
So hope so.
Oh dear. Yeah, so Metallo fights were mostly fun. Alex put on our kryptonite fueled suit again, which I thought was a little bit weird because like she takes a punch to the face and I'm like, well, I should have still shattered her face.
I was thinking that as well.
So I'll go with it. You know what?
Also, this is another thing where people from who didn't watch season one, they didn't really explain this, did they? She just kind of had it on, and we were like, oh
Sure.
yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
She just literally came out with it on.
Yeah, if you jumped into season 2 and you didn't watch season 1, that was from the season 1 two-part finale where she had to fight Supergirl because Supergirl was under control of things. I won't go into it. But she was under mind control of some sort, and Alex had to fight her, so she put on this suit. But no, speaking of Alex's meeting with the leader of Cadmus, I thought that scene was okay. I thought the start of it felt a bit rocky. Once they started running, I thought the fight scene got a lot better.
Yeah,
and then of course, Supergirl got did the whole catching the bullet, not only with her hand but just like 2 fingers.
In the fingers, yeah.
Very, very accurate. So that was cool. I feel like even though I can see where they're cutting corners occasionally with effects, at the same time I think they're doing it wisely so they can still have big moments.
Yeah, it's in places where it's acceptable, where you go, okay, because you accept there's got to be places where they're going to cut back if they want to do the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as they pick and choose their moments correctly, which so far they have been, that's all right.
Yeah. For example, it would have been nice to see a shot of Superman and Jean flying to the fortress. I know we get the wide shot of them swooping in, but I mean like a closer up. And Jean's already basically transformed when he lands, so you sort of see the end of the transformation, and that's a cutback. But at the same time, we've seen him transform before. We don't have to see it every time. But that gave us, other things in this episode. It gave us, the fights. It gave us
Kara throwing the car at Metallo. I thought that looked very good.
That did look good. I liked that moment. That was a big action moment. See, when these two fights were going on, it almost felt like a weird Supergirl only universe, like team up Avenger style almost, with like all this big stuff going on.
Yeah.
In 2 places. By the way, Krypton Park, love it.
That's great. That's such a nice thing that they've done for him. And
Jean, of course, pretending to be the little girl in that fight scene.
Classic John.
That amuses me. This is a weird thing to bring up, especially when it's a little girl. Maybe I should have brought this up last season when it was Kara, to make Kat think she wasn't Supergirl. But when these shapeshifters, right, when they transform into the opposite sex, like, do you think, like, is it not weird on just a fundamental level that he has all the different bits? Like, it's one thing turning into a different man.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose with Jean it's a little bit different because he's actually an alien, so technically both the men and the women...
It's a completely different species anyway, so it's like, at that point.
Yeah. Like, so both the men and the women are kind of weird to him. Yeah, that's kind of fair. Yeah. But there's nothing from stopping him from shapeshifting into a Martian woman, presumably, either.
His own personal comfort?
Possibly. But yeah, it occurred to me when he was a little girl, because I'm thinking, he's a little girl, that's... In a weird way, it's kind of creepy.
It is.
But hey, whatever. Yeah. You go with it. We accept that Alex doesn't have her face broken in 1,000 places after that punch, and we accept, other things. Alex does kill the Corbin Metallo, which I was kind of fine with because they just set up that he's like a cyborg now and not really a human, and it's her, and she's a soldier, and she has killed before. It's definitely part of her character. Still though, it was interesting that they never even brought up the question. Like, they never pondered it even for a second,
I think what it was is, as far as they were concerned, he was dead. Lena Luthor killed him. This isn't a person anymore. It's a reanimated husk.
Sure. I actually agree with that line of thinking. I just think it's strange that no one ever asked to quit. Like, just 10 seconds in the episode where someone said, shouldn't we, like, how do we take these people out without killing them? And then someone says, yeah, but they're already dead.
Yeah.
That'd have been
it. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, I can actually put the logic to it, but I just feel like, we could have had a quick thing with them saying it. Would have been nice, but no. So, anything else? Oh, Kara's new boss in the... Not the mail room, that's the mail room's where they just get the mail. The reporting section of the building where the magazine articles are written. I think I like him.
Yeah, I'm kind of on a similar area to you there, where I'm not convinced, but I'm in the right direction.
Because I think, obviously there's parallels to Cat, where he's kind of a hard ass and he's not just going to be nice to her, but he seems even more of a hard ass. Yeah. Where he's just like, no, you don't work here, you know. What I liked about him though, I liked it when he gave her reasons why he didn't want her working there, why she doesn't work there. All of them are kind of valid.
Yeah.
He's like, because she when she has the line, "This is the job I chose." I was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that."
Oh, I know.
Like I
was
knew,
like, oh.
like if I was a manager, if I had worked my way up, and then I was the boss of like any type of department, didn't matter what it was, and then some new person came in and said, "I chose this job," I would have let rip on them as well. Like I can't even blame them. And her reaction and like being all stuffy and not being able to respond was really amusing as well.
That led to my favorite line from him, where he goes, "Oh, thanks for getting rid of the notion that you might have been able to speak or write well."
Yeah, yeah. And then later on, she has the really crap insults where she calls him jerk boy or something like that.
Jerk guy.
Jerk guy. That's it. So I think there's potential there. I think as much as they phased out the part of Catco we're used to seeing, I feel like this will still be a prominent part of the show where she's trying to do this like for herself.
Does remind me, I thought it was really weird they had that new intro already where she said to everyone else, "I'm a reporter." I was like, wait, what? Already?
Otherwise, though, that new intro was back to the old version. The only difference, other than that line change, was the actual shot of Superman and the visuals, which I like, actually. I like that we actually just get to see him now in the intro.
I told you it was just a one-time thing.
Yeah, you did.
I had to take the credit here. You wouldn't let it go.
Don't worry, when you're wrong, I will.
Oh, I know.
There will be a plane, and there will be smoke signals, and there will be 76 trombones, and you will know you're wrong.
Aye. Not the full 96 trumpets and all that, yeah.
Yes. Whole parade.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Seems fair.
Is there anything that we're missing? Anything?
I just, again, the like Clark and John stuff where when they go to the fortress, which for a start I like the fact that he brought him to the fortress, even though he says he doesn't trust him, clearly respects him enough.
That
take him to this private place.
I think that was all played quite well, because I think having Superman mistrust someone and be kind of angry at them, like you could easily fall into some traps there where it starts to feel not like Superman, but I think they handled it well, unlike say certain movies that have been out recently.
We can understand the logic for it, and it's not like he doesn't respect John. He's like, look, you do what you got to do, but I want no part of it.
Yeah, and at the end of the episode, of course, Jean lets Clark take the kryptonite in a lead casing, presumably to the fortress, so that the kryptonite's still there should it be needed, but only Clark and Kara can go and retrieve it. Yeah.
But I like that Jean speaks Kryptonian, and that whole thing where he's like, "No, we've got to keep each other's worlds alive." I think that'll maybe tie into some upcoming Miss Martian stuff.
Yeah, that would make some sense. Also, I really like that there's a Kryptonian word for "to be continued."
It was nice.
Yeah, nice little things you learn. I thought this was good action for the most part. Villains were a bit weak, but all the character stuff was really endearing, and it's hard to.
As always, this show just warms my heart.
It does warm your heart. I mean, you could complain maybe that Kara's for like 2 seconds thinks she might move to Metropolis and then changes her mind like 2 scenes later. Yeah, it's a legit complaint, but I don't think it.
Yeah, I like that Alex kind of just gives it to her though, like like, nah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, don't be a numpty is basically the gist of that conversation. Especially since you know that she's not going to move because it's Supergirl. She's staying in National City.
Which is kind of why I like that they didn't drag it out. They just got it over and done with. It's like, look, we got to play this beat, but we're not going to mess around with it.
Yeah. Kind of like what they did last week when they just get rid of the Jimmy stuff, like the Jimmy romance, like as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll stay going. Because I did hear someone think they just made it more of a will they won't they, but I feel like no, the will they won't they was last year, and this year it's no.
It didn't feel that like. I mean, they only had one interaction this episode, obviously, but it didn't feel anything like there was a romantic element.
She suggested that maybe when she thought he was leaving, that it was her fault, that maybe she'd made him uncomfortable, which was sort of acknowledging the continuity of where she should ask that. I feel like that makes sense, but once that was out of the way, like it didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah,
if anything. It felt like they were just back to being friends when she said don't get used to it when she called him boss.
So
that's episode 2 of Supergirl, and I think after 2 episodes, I'm definitely happy to have this back. Like I feel back in the groove of.
It's probably the thing I'm most happy to have back.
It just makes me feel happy.
Does.
Like a super person show should. You know,
Yeah.
like Lois and Clark did in the 90s when I was a kid. This
Yeah.
just makes me feel happy to be alive.
And Mon-El next week, right?
Yeah, we end with Mon-El waking up and he immediately tries to strangle Kara, which I'm assuming is just because he wakes up from a nightmare and just reacts.
It's one of those shots where it's like you, as soon as she's sat by the bed and Torna's like, I know exactly how this is going to play. It's like you
Yeah.
know this is ending with the hand on the throat, and that's fine because it's one of those sit-up reactions, and she'll talk to him and he'll apologize.
Yeah. So, yeah, episode 2 of Supergirl. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Thank you very much for watching. And up and away, and there was... what was the other phrase they sort of turned around in this one? Up and away was last week. There was one in this episode, though.
There was, wasn't there?
It's when Supergirl says, a little birdie told me, and then she goes, oh, a little plane. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We will see you next time.